Okay, I am back to finish off my story tonight about me. Okay, so yeah, I had left off about pretty much that I was left in the rain and nobody cared, and that I had alienated myself. And that's where I left off yesterday. If you haven't seen the other videos, the About Me, I'm just starting this channel, so if you haven't seen those, just please go and watch those so you'll kind of understand everything that I'm talking about here. So, okay. Right before I had moved, there was another incident with my child. She was 16 and she had met some friends that had also were using meth. And that, it was just kind of a crazy time. I mean, for both of us. There was an incident when she almost OD'd on it. And she came to me, and I knew something was wrong. I mean, she was just sitting there like she would just be moving weird, and she wouldn't really talk a lot, and she was just like biting on her tongue and her lip and her mouth, and she wouldn't stop doing it, and ended up her tongue just looked like, it just looked like raw turkey, like ground turkey or something. And it was horrible. It was really bad for her. She couldn't eat for a couple of weeks. It was just, anybody who's ever just bit your tongue, which is pretty much everybody, you know that hurts. And I just couldn't really do anything for her. I would try and buy stuff to try and numb it, and this was a real eye-opener. She could have died. Yeah, so it was very traumatic for the both of us. So at that point I was like, okay, enough's enough. She didn't really, I guess, seem to, we were not getting along very much at all. There was some other stuff going on behind the scenes there, but we just weren't getting along. But I wanted to get clean. I'd had enough. I was like, no, this is enough. Look at what is going on with my kid. I couldn't really deal with that anymore. But so I emailed my friend and I was like, look, I want to get clean. Can I come and stay with you? And my friend said yes. It was my friend in Fort Worth. He had said yes, that I could. So I actually went to go stay there, and on my way there, the person that gave me a ride there actually texted me and was like, anytime you need meth, you just let me know. And he said that he would bring me needles, and he'd bring me the meth, and just whatever, whenever I wanted. And I didn't actually see that message until like a couple of days later. I was looking through again and I saw it, and I was like, okay, well, that's nice. But I didn't actually do it until some other people came over, and they were obviously high, and it kind of triggered that in me and made me want to do it. So I was like, let's just, I'm just gonna do it one more time. It's always just one more time. And so I got a hold of this person, and it was like, hey, you remember how you said that you would do that for me? And so they gave me some, and yeah, it was a bad idea. It's always a bad idea. But I had actually just kept on with the researching that I was doing, and I'd end up on websites. I had no idea how I'd even got there. I mean, it just mostly just the religious kind of stuff and the government conspiracy kinds of stuff. I started reading into there's a book called some kind of pale horse or something. I don't know the exact name of it. I'd have to look, but yeah, so I began pushing that information on my friend that I was staying with, which, you should never do that. Don't ever ask, or unless they ask specifically, which I've learned, unless they ask, don't give them that kind of information, because they don't want to hear it. They're not ready for that. Yeah, anyway, so I'd embarrass myself on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm surprised the dogs didn't just start yapping, but there's plenty of them. But yeah, so I think that's all on that page. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in that mode in Fort Worth. There was some stuff that came over me. I became really worried that my child would, hurt herself or something like that, like she was suicidal. And and my mom had guns in the house. She wouldn't, and so I called and I was like, Mom, can you please just lock the guns in your room, go lock them in your car or something? Because I just had this bad feeling, that something bad was going to happen. I just had this really eerie, crappy feeling, just something bad's about to happen. And I didn't know what to do. And so I ended up, I had actually, right before this incident, I had called CPS on myself. I called the police because my mom refused to take her guns and do something with them. So, I was like, I called the police. I was like, my daughter's suicidal and she's, my mom's got guns and this and that. But no, she just wouldn't. They wouldn't do anything, and CPS couldn't do anything. It was just crazy. So it was just a bad time. Yeah. So I think that's all I really wanted to mention about that. That pretty much puts me into the spot where where this thing really happened. And I also wanted to mention that I do have a half sister. My mother, my biological mother, actually. Sorry, I have dogs down here like on me, but. Before I get into the other stuff in my next video, I do want to mention I do have a half sister. I didn't even know she existed until I think I might have found her letters or something like that, or my mom might have said something about my sister, but I just thought that she stopped. I thought that she just didn't want to contact me. Or didn't want anything to do with me, because my mom said she just stopped writing. But I had ended up always, trying to find her. I would call information and be like, ask for her and the name that I had. But I could never find her. And my mom acted like it wasn't a big deal. Like she didn't try to help me. She didn't try to comfort me. She actually ended up saying, well, maybe she's dead. And I was like, oh, great, because I was 12, 13, 14, trying to find her. And she was not helpful at all. She was probably just as mean as she could really be, but I did end up finding her in 2008. You know, and the boyfriend that I had at the time that was a very traumatic experience for me, and I think that's probably why I didn't bring it up in the other videos, is because I think it might have just, I blocked it out or something. But yeah, I did end up meeting her, so, you know, I know her now, so that's interesting. But yeah, my mom didn't help me with that at all. She was, you know, she actually made, you know, after my father passed, she actually started making fun of him too, and saying that he was lazy. And this man was in a wheelchair with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and this was her own brother, and she's, you know, calling me lazy, saying I'm just like my dad, and I'm just like, wow, okay. But just mean stuff, not good stuff. That a mother would say. And, you know, like I said in that first short video, you know, I understand where that comes from, but it doesn't really make it much easier to deal with, you know, while it's happening. So, I think that's pretty much all I had for now, but, yeah, I can't really think of anything else that's pertinent to that. So I'm not really feeling that great today. I didn't sleep very well last night, but anyway, I'm gonna try to start into this other stuff in my next video. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll sleep better tonight, and I'll have that out tomorrow. So okay, thanks for listening. Have a good night.